Hi everyone, thanks so much for joining us. Today we're going to learn about getting started in Houzz Pro. My name is Katie and I'm on the product marketing team. So I work closely with our customers and our contractors to understand how you're using our software. And we share all that feedback with our engineering and product team to make sure that we're building the right features exactly for what you need to help you in your business. I'm here today with my colleague Abby as well.
Hey everyone, welcome.
So we have a full demo plan for you. Again, this is just the getting started webinar. So we're not going to be going into details on all of our features. Abby will show you how you can access other webinars, as well as lots more information to help you get up to speed on everything that we have in Houzz Pro. So with that, Abby, I'll hand it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Katie. If y'all will just give me 1 second, I will share my screen and we'll kick things off. Okay, can you guys see my screen okay, Katie?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Again, welcome everyone. We're very excited that you have chosen Houzz Pro to be your project management software. I'm going to just give you guys a little bit of orientation to the screen that you're looking at, your home screen of Houzz Pro, and then we'll dive into some of the features that will make the most impact in your workflow. So, like I said, this is going to be your homepage inside Houzz Pro. Up at the top, you'll have quick access to projects, to-dos, maybe contracts or estimates that you have already sent out that you need to just quickly reference. And on the right-hand side, you'll also have these quick create actions. So if you need to quickly upload a file, quickly create a task, you can do that right from the home screen. Below that, you'll also have access to the support center information. So you can access the help center right here, which is going to give you lots of articles and videos that you may need to use as you're learning the software. And then also our latest releases. So if you're curious about what new features we're launching, you can always click here to learn more about those features, as well as our training and the blog and direct access to technical support down here at the bottom. You can contact our technical support at any time right here by phone or down here on the chat icon. You can actually message in, ask your question, and then a member of our support team will get back to you as soon as possible. Next thing that I want to point out to you all is this left navigation over here. So you can see it starts up at the top with the search functionality. So you can use the search button icon up here to search specific things. If you need to know how to use something, it can help you pull up the help article immediately. You can also use the search functionality to look at larger, like the broader picture of your business. Maybe you need to look at all the selection boards, all of the bids that you have been sending this month, all of the tasks across your entire company, what the schedules are looking like across multiple projects, etc. You can use this for kind of that all functionality to be able to quick access everything that spans across your full business. Beneath that is your project list. So this is going to be where all of your active projects live. Below that is your leads. So that's all the prospects that are coming into your company. And we'll dive into that in just a few minutes. But just for reference, that's going to be where you track, manage, and update your leads, as well as message with your prospective leads there. Beneath that, the financial hub. So you can access reporting, linking your QuickBooks Online account, manage your online payment settings, as well as dig into the financing, the different financing options that we offer through Houzz Pro. Below that is the company tab. So you can add team members here, add clients, subs, vendors, as well as manage your catalog of all of the items that you're using on estimates, mood boards, selection boards, etc. Beneath that is going to be our global chat functionality, which we'll dive into later. That's going to be all about messaging internally with your team and having different conversations. So that way you can get off of the phone and text message and keep everything right inside Houzz Pro. Below that is messaging. So you'll find messages between you and your customer here, notifications, a quick access to clock in and clock out right there. More information about like getting help. So if you need help getting started or you need help with the 3D floor planner, you can get specific information to teach you there, as well as training and certification. And beneath that is where you're going to manage your settings. So whether it be integrations, specific account settings, or your company settings. Okay. That's a quick overview of the left navigation. So now let's dive in. So we'll start with leads. You can see here I have access to my recent leads, but if I just click the leads button right here, it's going to give me a list view of all of the different leads that I have in my pipeline. You'll notice up at the top right, this is where you're going to add leads. So you can create a new lead manually. You can import them with a file. If you have a package that includes our Zapier integration, you can also import them with Zapier or import them via your email. So there's a number of options for bringing those leads directly into Houzz. You can also set up custom views. So if you want to see just the projects that are in your pipeline and are at the they've all had the estimate sent. You can customize the view to only see the ones that are estimate sent but not paid, that sort of thing. You can kind of manage those views and set them up so that you can see exactly what's important to you. Now let's dive into this example lead that I have here, this Lucas custom home build. We will open that. And then you'll start to see over on this left-hand side that now you have a second navigation that's going to give you access to all of the different features that you have for your lead. So you can log notes right here. So if you have a call that comes in, you're on the phone with this customer, you can create a call note and log in all the details that you had, the conversation that you had with your customer, bullet point things out, number things out, etc., as well as create tasks. Maybe you need to follow up on something or talk with a subcontractor about a specific request this customer had. You can log all of that information right here inside the lead. Next is going to be the 3D floor plan. We find that that's a super popular feature. We actually have a LiDAR room scanner on our Houzz Pro mobile app, so you can use that to scan the existing space. If you're working on a project that is a renovation, you can do that, and that'll be super helpful for you. And then you can actually turn that into a sales tool, add some finishes, make it really pretty, and then use that for your customer to help close the deal. Project schedule is another one. You can also upload files. So if you need to pull in the floor plans, et cetera, you can pull that directly in. You can do quick takeoffs as well as create the actual estimate itself. So it becomes this really great hub for you to manage customers really well from the lead phase before you've even signed them on. And then when you're ready, you can just hit convert to project down here at the bottom. And all of that information that you have logged in during the lead stage is going to convert over into the project. So you're not inputting information twice, you're just converting it into a project. You'll see this pop up. You're able to put in additional details and then convert it into a project. Okay, now from here, let's take a peek at an actual project. So you'll see I'm on this tab on the left with the hammer and the ruler, and I'm going to go into the Robles Residence project. Again, just quick orientation. The left-hand side, you have a new navigation. It's giving you all of the features that you have access to in Houzz. If there's some features that you see on my screen that you don't have, it's likely because of the plan level that you're on. So if you're interested in one of the features that you see today that you don't have access to currently, you can definitely reach out to our sales team and they can help you get upgraded. But yeah, so this left-hand side is going to show you all the features you have access to. Right here, you can kind of drag and prioritize features. So if you want to always see files and photos at the top, you can do that. Or if you want to see the project schedule at the top, I definitely recommend that. Pull that to the very top of the page, and you can customize this to be exactly how you want it to be. Additionally, you'll see the project information up at the top, like the client contact information, if you have a project address in. And then on the right-hand side, you'll see a place for you to chat back and forth with your team. You can click client so that you can message back and forth with your client, and then we'll dive into the subcontractor dashboard in just a bit. Okay, so let's dive into the contracting feature. So once you've gone through the lead phase and you're ready to actually firm up a contract with the customer, you can do so directly inside Houzz. So you can create a new contract from scratch. You can upload a contract, or you can start with one of the templates that we have, or one of the templates that you have created once you've really gotten your rhythm down inside Houzz. You can save it as a template. So we're going to open this Robles contract, and you will see up at the top, it's pulled in automatically Andre's name. And then you can see all of the different details that I've laid out for the scope of my agreement. You'll see that it's auto-filled my company name. I've got the addresses in here. And something that I want to point out here is that you can actually pull in smart text. So let's say the deposit, we want to pull that information in directly from the project estimate. You can use smart text up here in the right-hand corner to pull in different project details, client details, company information, dates, or documents. So let's say I want to pull in this $40,000 deposit. I can bring that in and it's automatically pulling it from estimate 10028. You can scroll down through this contract. This is the template one that we have inside Houzz, but you can also bring in your own and fill in those different details. And then also bring in signature blocks for both you and your client. And then at the bottom, you'll notice that there is an activity stream as well. So that way you're going to be able to keep track of everything that's happening for this contract. So has your customer seen it? Has your customer viewed it 10 times and not responded to you? All those details are going to be tracked right here for you in that activity stream. Another helpful feature is this outline. So it's automatically going to create an outline for you. So if you need to quickly page to a specific part of the contract to make an adjustment, you can do so from this outline here. Up at the top, you'll notice some quick actions. You'll notice that throughout Houzz Pro, we have a lot of things up in this right-hand corner. The actions menu is going to allow you to duplicate and edit, save it as a template, download, print, archive, delete. Next is going to be commenting. So if you need to talk to your team about this project and the specific contract, you can do so here. And then also do the same with your client. Maybe your client has a comment and a question about the contract after you've sent it. Their comment will live right here, and you'll be able to see their comment and respond back to them. You can also set up some automations. So if you want to automatically send reminders or a thank you message, you can completely customize those and make them unique to your business. When you're ready to send it, you just hit send up at the top right. It's going to pull in your client information. You can load in a custom email. You can save that email as a template down here under My Templates. And then you hit send, and it's going to go ahead and send directly to your customer. Okay, so next up, we are going to look at the 3D floor planner. So the 3D floor planner, as I mentioned earlier when we talked about leads, you can actually use the 3D room scanner on the Houzz Pro mobile app to scan an existing space, or maybe if you're working on a new construction project, you can upload a 2D plan right here. And then we also have some different templates that you can use as well if you just want to play around with the feature and get to know it a little bit better. I have one that I've created here for a kitchen and breakfast nook renovation. So we'll take a peek at that for just a minute. And you'll see up here at the top, I'm just on the floor plan view here. I have it set so that it's in full color, but you can also switch it to black and white if you don't want to see the color once you've kind of built that out. Now, if you do a room scan on your phone, it is going to go ahead and build the walls, the doors, the cabinets, anything existing that's going to go ahead and pull that in for you. And then if you pull in a 2D floor plan, it's going to give you the black and white version of this as well. And it won't have furniture, obviously. So the 3D floor planner, like I said earlier, is going to allow you to kind of use this as a sales tool. It's going to help you to build the vision so that you can kind of sell that to your customer, or it's going to allow you to kind of have an idea of what the look and feel is going to be so that you can present that to the customer during the selections phase as well. So up at the top, this navigation is going to give you a couple options. So you can use the dollhouse view to kind of get a realistic view of what the space is going to look like. You can even use the walkthrough view to give your clients a kind of immersive experience and say, okay, this is exactly how your new breakfast nook is going to look and feel. Now, you're probably wondering, how do I get products into my plan once I upload it? Over on this right-hand side, you'll see access to different things. So structures, if you need to pull in different doors, there's tons of door options here. There's tons of window options, staircases, fireplaces, etc., that you can pull directly into the floor plan, as well as generic products. So if you need something very generic, like say you need a, let's see, light fixture. You just know that they're going to want a ceiling light fixture. You don't know which one. You can just pull that in as a placeholder and pull that directly into your floor plan. You can adjust the dimensions. You can rotate it. You can choose a finish just to kind of paint the picture of what that is going to look like. You can also use our source tab below that, which is going to give you access to a lot of the products that we have in our Houzz marketplace. And you can pull items directly in. So like real brand name products, you can actually find those and bring them directly into your floor plan as well. Below that is our cameras functionality. So you can actually generate photorealistic images of the 3D floor plan. So we'll want to go into dollhouse view and adjust our view a little bit. We can click cameras. I always recommend using distortion correction, and that's going to help you make this plan look really nice. That didn't quite work for me, but that's okay. But you'll just want to create that camera, create the view, and then you can generate a photorealistic image of it. So that way your clients get a really polished, nice view, and it's going to reflect light into the space and be a really beautiful visual that you can provide to your customer. Beneath that is estimating. So if you want to pull together an estimate of all the items you used in your plan, you can do that right there. And lastly is my product. So each account has a specific number of conversions that they can do to be able to convert products that they've added into their library into 3D so that you can use a little bit more of the actual finishes. This works really well for furniture pieces. We are still building the technology for some of the finish items. So I definitely recommend it for bringing in furniture as a primary focus. But this, like I said, this is new AI technology. So we'll be continuing to build that over the future. Okay, I know that was a very quick overview of the 3D floor planner, but we have great resources for you to learn more. So there are deep dives on a lot of our features available to you. So that's where you would want to dive in and really get nitty gritty, really learn all the ins and outs of the 3D floor plan tool. From there, let's talk about takeoffs and measuring for material quantities. So we're going to click takeoffs right here on the left-hand side. And we will let that load. And so I've already uploaded some floor plans here, but when you're ready, you just click upload plans, choose the files, and then add them directly in. And it's going to pull up those plans for you in our takeoff tool. We have a really awesome takeoff tool. It's going to allow you to measure individual things. It's going to allow you to measure based off of assembly. So if you have a multiple component item that you need to measure for, like the tile, the thin set, the mortar, all of those things, you can measure for it all at once, and then turn that into an estimate later, which is really helpful. We can pause recording for a second. Okay, we can pick it back up. Okay, so now that we have our takeoffs loaded, you can see over on the right-hand side that I have a number of different materials that I am measuring for here. I've got my backsplash material quoted out, my flooring material, wall paint, ceiling, etc. So how did I do that? You can do that from up here on this toolbar. There you can draw using a rectangle, a polygon, just a specific length, or count even. So if you're counting can lights or counting switches, you can use that to quickly count and leave a little dot like you see here for my can light measurement or takeoff. And you can kind of do that way. So for a rectangle, for example, let's say we want to measure this space. We just drag over, highlight, and you'll see down here that I have a new square footage takeoff. So that's 85 square feet. And so now you can rename it. You can say exactly what this is. Maybe this space is going to be tile for the breakfast nook. You can name that. You can categorize it, all of those things right there. If you needed to measure vertically as well, so maybe you're doing the walls of that space, you can actually use this cube icon right here and set the height, the ceiling height, that sort of thing. So that way you can get an accurate measurement of that space. Something important to note here is making sure that your page scale is correct. So most floor plans are going to have that scale on it, and you're going to want to use that and set it correctly right here down at the bottom, and just make sure that your scale is set appropriately. It's super easy. You can just click Find Scale, and you can measure a known length, or if you have it already in the plan, you can just choose from one of our preset ones or type in a custom one. So takeoffs are super helpful for doing those material takeoffs. And then once you have all of your takeoffs laid out, you can hit review and estimate and take that information into an actual estimate itself. Again, I know that's very broad strokes overview of takeoffs, but we do have an excellent deep dive webinar on the takeoffs feature where we get into all the different things that you can do with the tool. And I definitely encourage you to watch that if you're interested in learning more about the takeoffs feature. Okay, next up is bid management. So you'll see here at the top left, every time I'm going to a new feature, I'm just hovering over that project name. And you can scroll quickly through all the different features without having to go back out. So I just wanted to call that out because it makes things a little faster for you. But next, we're going to take a look at the bid management feature. So I've clicked bids here. And this is going to be a way for you to kind of collect, compare, track all of the bids that you're getting for a specific project. It's super easy to create a bid request. You can name them any way that you please. If you have a specific naming mechanism that you like to use, you can do that. Or if it's just as general as electrical, you can totally do that. Now you'll have a bid request form where you can fill out all the details like the due date. Do you want a reminder sent to the subcontractor the day before the due date? The estimated project start date, and then also a place for you to outline the scope of work. So that way the subcontractor knows. And then lastly, if you need to attach the floor plans, obviously they need to know what the project looks like that they're working on to accurately quote it. You can attach those really quickly. And then from there, moving to the bidders tab, you can actually choose bidders from the subcontractor list that you've loaded in, or you can manually add new subcontractors right here. Since you guys are all new, this is going to be really helpful for you. You can add them and then use them over and over again in the future. And then when you're ready to add them, to allow them to actually bid on this project, you choose the ones that you want to add. You can select them and add them, or you can go ahead and select and send automatically. From there, you'll see that on this specific example, I've sent it to 2 subcontractors, and one subcontractor declined the request. They don't have time for the project. And then another sent an actual bid. Now, clicking view bid is going to show you the actual bid that they submitted. They have a space for them to fill in what they're planning to do, what their inclusions are, what are they excluding, maybe more information about when they're available, etc. And so you can quickly review that information and then go back and say, okay, which one do I want to go with? And you can click easily to award the bid, or in this case, you can see unaward since I've already awarded it. Something else important to note here is that you can manually submit for your subcontractor. So a lot of times there will be a language barrier or a technology barrier. And so you can always submit them manually on behalf of your subcontractor. So you can definitely do that as well. I believe I may have an example of that over here that I'll show you quickly. Let's see. Yeah. So we can select the bidders for this plumbing. We'll add my 2 plumbers right here. Select. We've added them in. And then you can send the bid request to them. And then let's say they are struggling with technology. You can actually click right here and submit that bid yourself. So there's definitely a workaround for those scenarios that happen because they totally do. Okay. Now we are going to move into estimates. So estimates are obviously the key to the whole building process, right? So you could have started the estimate during the lead phase, or if you're not managing your leads this way, you can also start it from within a project. So we'll take a look at this kitchen remodel estimate right here. There's a number of different ways that you can actually start your estimates. So up in the top right-hand corner, you'll see new estimate. You can start those estimates from scratch. You can upload one. You can start from a template, or you can create them using AI by giving it a prompt to say, hey, this is what I need for this specific project, and then allow it to generate that information with AI. Okay, now we'll peek into this estimate. I got a little ahead of myself there. So you'll see up at the top, it's going to have my logo. You can rename your estimate, what you want to name it. You can set up specific codes. You can label this however you want to. You can add your client details. If you've already loaded that information in, it's going to go ahead and pull that in for you. You can also add your business information as well. So you'll see I don't have my business information since we're playing with the fake business, but you can add that directly onto your estimate here. And then you'll see up at the top, you'll see the date, the due date, and then all of the linked documents, whether or not this estimate has been synced to a budget, which we'll get to later, has it been shared, has it been invoiced? So quick access to all that information up at the top. Now, to add items to your estimate, you can actually type in line down here at the bottom. You can create a new item, label it whatever you need to label it. Maybe it's plumbing materials. You can add that in very quickly. Let's see, plumbing materials. We can add that in super quickly. And then down at the bottom, that will automatically get added. You can add in your cost, $5,000. Add that in. You can adjust whether it's material and labor. Is it a product? Is it a service? You can add all of those details in right there. And additionally, up at the top, you can do the same thing for my items. So you can create new items right here. You can sort through anything that you've added in the past, labor items, material and labor items, etc. And then pull those items directly into your estimate. So it could be actual products, or it could be something as simple as like a labor fee, a labor charge, that sort of thing. Something really cool that we have recently added is our Automate AI. So if you need to adjust this specific estimate, like maybe you need to add some additional project scope, you're not quite sure how to price it, but you want to give the client a ballpark. Like maybe you want to add a custom built-in in the pantry. The pantry is 10 by 10, or that's probably huge. 6 foot by 6 foot. You can do so here. You're going to use AI. It's going to give you a rough estimate of how much that's going to cost you. Let's say this one says it's going to cost $5,000. If you're happy with that, you can add the items to your estimate. If you're not happy with it, you can deselect it. You can also go back to adjust that prompt as well. Okay. Beneath my items is going to be brand catalogs. So right now we have two. We have access to the entire Home Depot catalog right inside Houzz Pro. You can link your Home Depot Pro Extra account to get your preferred pricing. And then you have access to all of their 3 million plus items. And you can add those onto your estimates, add them onto selections later on, etc. Beneath that is our average price catalogs. This is going to give you low, medium, and high average pricing for a variety of different products and labor prices. So you'll see under appliances, we've got this dishwasher here in 3 different levels with some example brands. So you kind of know the ballpark of what you're talking about with your client. Like, I know this client is a Viking person. I need to definitely use one of the 3 numbers in this range. Or maybe this person is more big box retailer and they're looking for GE Whirlpool. You can add those numbers in directly. And you can also see things like installation cost, material and labor for installation, that sort of thing. So it makes it really nice for you to be able to kind of pull in generic items that maybe you're going to fill in with actual items later. Now you'll see here, the total of my estimate is calculating down here. You can also see what has been invoiced so far, as well as set up a payment schedule. So if you want to say the first 20% is due as a deposit, you can add that in. If you want to set up progress payments, you can also label those whatever you would like to. So if this is progress payment 1, you can label those, add the amounts in, or add in the actual percentage, and set the due date for that specific payment if you already know it. Below that, you'll see our wonderful online payments functionality. So if you haven't set up online payments, definitely go ahead and do that. That's going to help you get paid a lot faster. You know, in today's age, clients love to get rewards points on their credit cards. So help them however you can, right? So definitely consider setting up online payments. That's going to help you get paid much, much faster. Beneath that is going to be files. So if you have some files you need to attach to this estimate, you can do so there, as well as terms and conditions that you can save as a template. And you can add those terms and conditions to this estimate, as well as ones that you do in the future. Same for the memo. There's a place to template that. And then down below that is going to be your signature block and the activity stream. So you'll be able to track all of the activity that happens with this estimate once you send it out the door. Now, again, up in the top right, you'll see an actions menu. This is going to be quick access for you to create an invoice from this estimate, create a change order from this estimate, create purchase orders, save this as a template, that sort of thing. And then to the right of that, you're going to be able to actually convert your estimate into a schedule using AI, which is really awesome. It's going to take the line items from your estimate, convert it onto a schedule for you, and then you don't have to manually recreate the phases of construction on your schedule. Next, commenting. automations. So you're able to set up next steps, triggers, client reminders, thank you messages. And again, all of these things can be templatized so that you're offering every client the exact same experience. Again, we've got the create invoice button. So if you want to turn this estimate into an invoice, you can do so there as well as preview what your client's going to see. So it's warning me that I don't have a tax rate. That's okay. But you're able to preview and see exactly what your client can see right here. Additionally, managing those settings is important. You can share as much or as little information as you'd like with your client. Do you want them to approve line by line? You can turn that on here. If you want them to see your markup, maybe it's a cost plus project, you want them to see it. You can share that information with them very, very easily. And then when you're ready, just hit send and it will send directly to your client. You can do both email and text if you've saved their phone number into this project. And that makes things really, really nice. Okay. Once your client reviews that, they can go through, they can do a digital signature, and then you're off to the races. You can really get your project started. So let's dive into our selections features. Now, I know that there are a number of different ways that contractors do selections. Some design build firms have a designer on staff. Other people subcontract that out. Whatever way you work, you can definitely use Houzz Pro to help you in that process. It can be a very disjointed process. And so our selections features really make it easy for you in the field, as well as really easy for the designer that's working on the project. So the way that we organize our selections is through boards. So you can name your boards anything you want. If you want boards for each room, everything that goes in the kitchen, everything that goes in the primary bathroom, everything that goes in the living room, you can do that. Or you can create your boards by allowance, all the plumbing, all the electrical, all of the paint colors. You can do that as well. And as well as set budgets for these things. So you can set an overall project budget for the finishes, as well as a board specific budget for the finishes. So you can see here, this kitchen board has a $60,000 budget, but let's say if I'd made a board called plumbing and I wanted to set this overall plumbing board budget to, let's say, $12,000 for the project. Oops. 12,000. You can set that as well as choose to include tax or not. So as I pull in items onto this board, it's going to track that dollar amount with that. So like, I'll show you what that looks like on this kitchen board. Okay. Again, you see the budget. This one's based off of room, but like I said, you can do it either way. You can pull in your mood boards. So if your designer wants to be a team member in Houzz and they want to make their mood boards in here, you have everything in one place, which makes it really nice. You can bring in that floor plan from your room scan as well, and then get into the actual finishes. So the finishes are where it really counts. You can actually use our Houzz Pro Clipper tool. So up here, you can see at the top right of my screen, this little H icon. The Houzz Pro Clipper is going to be a Google Chrome extension for you to pull in product information from any vendor on the web. So you can see I'm on the Visual Comfort website right here. I'm going to open my Houzz Pro Clipper tool, and then I can quickly pull in all the product information. So I need to use this specific chandelier. I want to pull the product title. I'm just highlighting over the name and then assigning it to the product title. I want the SKU number so that it makes my life easier when I'm ordering. Save the SKU number. You can see it's automatically saved for me right here. Pull in the cost. Maybe we're wanting to put in the retail cost. We can log that information in there, as well as select a category. This is going to be really helpful for you to organize and then be able to sort things later. You can also add in a vendor. So if you want to add in visual comfort, or maybe you buy visual comfort from Ferguson, you can add that information in as well as assign it to an actual project as well. So when you fill all that out, you can save this product directly into Houzz, and then it's going to be available to you right inside your My Items library up here at the top. And then you're going to have direct access to that product to pull into your selection boards. So that's how I got this hardware here. You can see these different hardwares. I clipped all of that using the Houzz Pro Clipper, and now I've added it onto my selection board. Something really nice about the Houzz Pro Clipper tool is that it's going to save the product link. So we were just on the Visual Comfort website. I did the same thing for this monogram range. So I can just click this product link button right here, and it's going to pull up all the product information for this monogram range. So I need to go back and look at the technical specs. You can pull up the specifications sheet in just a few clicks. You don't have to Google what was the SKU number, figure out exactly what the product was. In just a couple clicks, I'm right there and have direct access to it. Now, the selection board is both a place for you to organize the selections as well as collect the client approvals. So you'll see the client has approved these 2 items, but how do you get to that phase, right? So once you've added all of the products onto your board, whether it be all the plumbing or room by room like we're looking at here, you can simply click preview and share. Again, customize the viewing settings. Maybe you do or don't want them to see the pricing. Maybe you do or don't want them to have product links. You can do all of that and manage those details and then share that with your customer. Once you share it with them, they're able to comment and let you know what they think. Okay, I like this, but I wish it was matte black, right? They can have that conversation on just that specific product, as well as click approve or decline. So they can say, I love this. Let's go ahead and lock that selection in. They can approve it. They can decline items at their leisure. So this really becomes like an additional asset to you in the selections process, because a lot of times the selections are handled in person. You know, you need to look at finishes, you need to look at products in person, but this can be a way to let your customers take those decisions home with them and allow them to feel really confident and empowered in the selections process, which makes it really nice. So from there, we are going to move into our financial tools. So let's talk about invoicing and purchase orders. So we looked earlier at the actual project estimate, and so you can create estimates or invoices directly from that. So if we click create invoice at the top, you can invoice a number of different ways: by the remaining balance on the estimate, by a percentage of the actual estimate, as well as by specific line items. I know a lot of times people will want to invoice based off of the phase. You can click this line item. We can create a document and create an invoice. So if you need to do specific items, you can do that as well by a remaining percentage, by a remaining balance, or by percentage. And you can also like customize this. If you don't want to do percentage, you want to do an amount and you want to just do $1,000, it will auto calculate that percentage for you. So either by the percentage or by the flat rate amount. So whatever works best for you in your process. The other thing that you can do is create purchase orders directly from your estimate. So if you have products on here that you want to go ahead and create purchase orders from, up at the top in the actions menu, you can create purchase orders right here. And it's automatically going to pull in the vendors, or if you don't have any assigned, you can assign a vendor or subcontractor from right here, and then go ahead and convert those onto purchase orders. Obviously, we have all experienced a change order working in the construction industry. So change orders, we have to be able to serve those well, right? So maybe let's say that framing is going to end up costing a lot more because the client changed the scope. It's really easy for you to click these 3 dots here and create that change order. So we went to the 3 dots, create document, create change order. And now it's going to go ahead and pull up that change order for me. It's pulling in any of the information that I've loaded in, like client information, etc. And you'll see what was planned to cost for this item, and then also what the updated cost is. So let's say that this ended up costing $10,500. You can add that in. It's going to go ahead and add in your markup, and it's already going to total up what the difference is. So you can send an invoice for that variance directly to your customer. Your client is able to review that. They can approve it digitally. And then once they do, it's automatically going to update. And so you have a real time track of exactly what's going on with your project at any given moment. From there, we're going to peek into budget tracking. So you can set it up directly from your budget, from your estimate, or right here on this budgeting tab on the budget setup menu. So this is going to be a great way for you to track your estimated costs versus your actual costs. So under budget setup, you can automatically pull in your estimates, any change orders, as well as any purchase orders that you've done for this project. And you can go ahead and sync those into your budget. Now you'll see it's pulling in the exact line item from the estimate. It's pulling in the cost from the estimate, and then you can add in your actuals. So whether that be time entries, expenses, or purchase orders, all of that information can be linked manually to that actuals column. And then you'll get the calculation real time of what the variance is. Are you over? Are you under? What's been invoiced? What hasn't been invoiced, etc. Okay. Moving a little quickly here, but we definitely have more resources online for learning about the budget. Let's move into the project schedule and start talking about some of our project management features. So the project schedule, like I showed you earlier, can be converted from the estimate. So it will automatically pull in those estimate line items and build you a schedule, which is really helpful AI functionality that we've added. Or you can create it manually. So up at the top, you can add phases, add milestones, add project dates, and kind of manually do that. Or you can go through and you can just click anywhere on the actual schedule and you can add specific items. So you'll see I have my full project scope here. We're right in the middle of my project. You can see exactly what's coming up. We're installing the backsplash on Wednesday. And then if I click that information, you can see all of the details about this specific schedule item. How many work days I'm anticipating it to last. Is it assigned to someone specifically, whether it's a team member or a subcontractor? Add descriptions, add dependencies so you can link two items together, like framing has to happen before drywall, right? Basics like that. You can kind of link those things together. So that way, when one thing moves on the schedule, you can move that one thing and feel confident that everything after that is moving with it. You can also add in tasks. So if you have specific tasks that are associated with this phase of construction, you can add those down at the bottom, as well as adjust what the color is going to be on the actual visual here. Up at the top, you also have access to the calendar view. What we're looking at here is going to be the Gantt chart view, but if you prefer to look at it in calendar view, you totally can. Or if you prefer to look at it in list view, you can do that as well. So there's a few different viewing options here and some filtering that you can do to get access to exactly the information that you want to see. Maybe it's only the completed stuff, only the open items, etc. Again, you've got an actions menu at the top. We have the ability to set a baseline so you can track how close you are to the schedule or how far off you are from the original schedule. Manage your workday settings, save this schedule as a template if you're doing the same scope of project multiple times, etc. This live mode is going to allow you to basically show your clients and subcontractors or not. If you've chosen to share the schedule with either of those two parties, you'll want to put it in edit mode when you're making major changes. So that way somebody doesn't log in while you're making the changes and get misinformation. Up here in the right-hand corner is where you're going to manage the sharing so that you can give the client access or the subcontractors access. You can give them individual access. So if you want Jones Electrical to have access to it, you can manage that right there as well. So this is going to help you get all of the updates, the schedule in real time. So that way your clients can make really educated decisions. You know, if you are doing a renovation and they need to move out for a phase of the construction process, they're going to be able to see this if you share the schedule with them and know exactly when that's coming up, whether or not things have slipped, that sort of thing. Now, I've mentioned sharing with the client several different times. So let's peek at our client dashboard. So this is going to be the all-in-one experience that you're delivering for your client. Client experience is obviously everything. Those are the ones paying our bills at the end of the day. So we want to make sure that they have access to the information that they need exactly when they need it. So up at the top, you'll see that I have loaded in a custom cover image. So you can add your own cover images, or you can choose from our stock ones just to make it a little more beautiful. You can make it on brand. You'll see your logo up at the top and any information about your company that you want shown there as well. And then beneath that, you'll see messages. So any messages that the client has received from you, and they can also reply right here, right inside the client dashboard. Beneath that, they'll have quick access to the project contract, financial documents. What have I paid? What do I still owe for this project? Please stop the bleeding, right? They'll be able to see exactly what they still owe, exactly what they have paid to date, etc., and have quick access to that right inside their dashboard. Beneath that, if you've done selection boards inside Houzz, you'll see that right here as well. The clients can have access to look back and say, okay, what did I decide for my kitchen? And that's saving you a question, right? They're not coming to you saying, hey, what's my kitchen faucet again? Did I do the unlacquered brass? Did I not? They'll be able to answer that question themselves, which is really nice. Same with mood boards, that 3D floor plan. If you have tasks for them, you can assign them to them. They'll get a notification and they can access it here, as well as that project schedule, any files or photos you've shared with them, and daily logs. So it's really a place for you to share all the client information in one place. Stop the text messages, stop the phone calls, stop the emails. You don't want all of that. It's going to streamline everything in one place so that way you have access to everything all together. Okay. So we're going to quickly go through the selections tracker. So that's the second piece of our selections process. This selection tracker is all about procurement. So you are going to have access to all the products from your selection boards. If they've been approved, if they've not been approved, you can filter and see. So if you need to see all of the items that are pending, so you can nudge your client and say, you need to approve these 10 things. You're going to hold up construction. You can do that. If you want to see only the approved items, so that way you can send something out for a quote. You can do that as well. And as well as organized by. So if you need to see everything organized by category, I need to see all the lighting together. I need to see all the cabinet hardware together. You can organize, filter, and view this any number of ways that best suit you. There's going to be different ways to sort, different ways to filter, as well as ways for you to customize the columns. So maybe you need to know what the designer's ordering versus what you're ordering. You can log that information in here, create a new column, and then it's going to appear for you down at the end. And you can add in those details. So like one that I always do is installation details. Like where exactly do we want this knob? Do we want it on the right-hand side, top right corner? Like, are there specific dimensions that we need to take into account of where we want this installed? Maybe they want this installed as close to the bottom of the cabinet as possible. Like you can log in all of that information right here, as well as add any order tracking details. So maybe this has been ordered. Maybe this is back ordered. You can log all of that right here. So you and your team are all empowered and all have all of the exact same information about what's happening during the procurement phase. From here, whatever you filtered to and organized for this specific project, you can also export out. So you can download it as an Excel. If your teams are really more comfortable with Excel, they can get a more traditional schedule that way. Or you can download it as an FF&E schedule. I love this personally because it feels a lot like a little construction set for you. And something that I like to point out is product link QR codes. This makes it really helpful for the guys in the field. So let's see what it looks like once I hit download, and then we can take a quick peek. So you'll see it's got all of my product information and anything that I've clipped directly from the internet using that Houzz Pro clipper that we looked at before. It's going to have a QR code to go directly to that link. So again, when your people are in the field and they need to know about the installation details of this range, they can quickly scan that QR code, pull up the product page, and then have those technical specifications very, very quickly. They're not calling you, what's the range? Calling you, finding out what the details are. You know, you're able to answer questions a lot faster that way. Okay. From here, I'm going to pick things up just a little bit. We have a time and expense functionality inside Houzz. So if you need your team to log hours, keep track of their time, you can do so right here, as well as manage expenses. If you're using the Houzz Pro mobile app, you can actually scan the expenses. It's going to pull in all the details automatically using AI. So there's a number of different options there. And then from there, tasks and punch list. So you can log in all of your tasks, assign it to people, add due dates, link it to a specific item on the schedule, etc., as well as convert items into a template. So if you do the same things every time, you always have to schedule a drywall crew. You can do actions, save all as a template, and add those items to a specific, create like a task template so that you can use it over and over. Additionally, you can manage your punch list here. So if you want to add all the things oopsies that you've got to take care of, like there's an outlet cover missing by the bar, you need to touch up the paint in a specific area, you need to resurface some drywall, you can log all of those things in here, very similar to the tasks. So that way you have a running tab of what all needs to happen on the project and when. Okay. Let's briefly move into daily logs. So this is going to give your clients visibility into what is happening on the job site and when, right? We live in a very digital age and people expect to know exactly what happened on the job site at any given moment. So this can be a really great thing for transparency. You can log in and tell your client exactly what happened, what the weather was, what the completed work was from the schedule, what hours were spent that specific day using the time and expense functionality. And you can even do two-way video logs. So I'm going to show you a quick video. And this is using the Houzz Pro mobile app. So if you don't have that downloaded, definitely download it. Creating a video walkthrough. Sorry, I got a little excited. But I'm going to show you this video real quick. It'll show you how to do that two-way video walkthrough. Daily log is easy with Houzz Pro. First, open the Houzz Pro mobile app and down at the bottom, tap Create. Choose Daily Log, and then choose the project that you want to create a daily log for. Now you'll notice down at the bottom, you have a few options. You'll see the camera with the AI Automate Sparkle, and we'll tap there. Now you'll see there's three options. I can do a video, I can do a photo, or I can do a walkthrough. The walkthrough will allow me to show my face and the camera at the same time. So I can show my customer exactly what I need to tell them about. Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Robles, just wanted to update you that we have electrical and mechanical. You probably get the gist of it from that, so I won't bore you with me talking more, but you get the gist of it. You can do a two-way video, and it's going to automatically save into this daily log, so your client gets that very high-touch experience with you from the get-go. Okay, we've talked a lot about the different chat functionality inside Houzz. We've talked about sharing a good bit. So there's a couple of ways that you can chat with your team. So obviously, text messages are the gold standard, but it doesn't allow you to organize things by project. So with our team chat functionality, you can organize those conversations by project. You can start a conversation with your team here or manage them from our global chat over on the left-hand side. So you can have conversations about multiple projects all organized right here. So everything about the Jackson project is right here. I'm tagging a specific team member to ask them what day we can meet on the job site, and then different conversation going on the Smith residence project. It's also going to give you direct access to go to the project, so you can access things really quickly from here. You can pull in estimates, invoices, purchase orders, mood boards. If you have a question about this and you want to mention the designer for the project, you can have those conversations right inside the project, so all project communication is really centralized. The last thing that I want to talk to you guys about is our subcontractor dashboard. So over in the top right-hand corner, we have this subs functionality. You can invite subcontractors here very easily. You'll see all of your subcontractors that you have loaded into Houzz right here, and you can quickly click to add them to the project, add a personal note to invite them to the project, that sort of thing. And then you can also at any point preview what they can see. So I'm going to click this preview button and we can take a peek at a specific subcontractor and see what they are going to be able to see. So you can see they're able to see the project name, what company they're working with on this project, right? As well as any things that you've shared. So let's say I shared the floor plans with them. They have that. They have tasks that are assigned to them, punch list items that are assigned to them. They can see the daily logs that you share with them. So if you want them to see, okay, the work that's preceding what you need to do has happened, you can share that with them so that they have direct access to it. You can share as much or as little of the schedule with them as you'd like. And you can also see the bids. So this contractor, the subcontractor is the one that won the bid. And so they can have access to that. So they can reference back to what they charged you for this specific project. Okay, I know that this was a brief overview, but I do want to show you guys where you can access our webinar content. So give me just 1 second. And I will show you where you can access additional webinar content because you can definitely dive deep on a lot of our different features. So let's see, I'm going to show you guys the Help Center. 1 second. Okay, so this is the Houzz Pro Help Center. It's just houzz.com/pro-help. You can type in specific questions if you need help on specific things. You can browse by specific features. Like if you saw today that we have the Takeoffs functionality and you're excited about it and you want to learn more, you can do so right here just by clicking. And then below that, you're going to see more features that we have access to, our video tutorials, Houzz Pro training, pro-to-pro conversations that we have, as well as our latest releases right here. And then one other thing that I want to show you is our new forum. So you can actually go to forum.houzz.com and have conversations with other pros. So maybe you are not sure how you want to use the client dashboard and what things are important. Start a new conversation here, and other pros will comment back to you, and you guys can have a conversation about best practices and that sort of thing. I think that I have given you guys just about everything. So if you have questions, feel free to drop anything else in the chat. And otherwise, happy learning Houzz Pro. I'm very excited for you all. And like I said earlier, please use that green chat bubble or call in anytime when you need support. Thank you guys for being here today. We appreciate it.